Bezat Hashem, we're back at the Limud at the Nerja Kadosh, David Chai, here on 4601 Thomas Street, right off Sheridan and Southwest 46th Avenue. Everybody, welcome to join. We're learning approximately half hour before announcement of the Mincha. So we're here, today is the 15th of the month of Shvat, Bezat Hashem, Thursday the 5th day of the week of Parashat Shabbat Yitro. So we're continuing in the discussion in Mishnah Berurah, in Sif Katan Chav Vav, where Mishnah Ruch told us that if it's cooked, any that was cooked from chitim, like rice or couscous or any other thing like barley or buckwheat, whatever it was, since it was cooked with water originally, but let's say we said that even if it's if it has still water remaining after cooking, so Mishnah Berurah is going to discuss why dino keperot. The rules are just like perot. What does that really mean, dino keperot? The rules apply to it like perot. My assumption is Shulchan Aruch is going to go and say to you, you can't go over there and say, you know what, let me wash my hands like I will do for the bread on before I eat this. Meaning, you know, the whole washing, the 6 times 3, the whole hand 3 times, just like what you would wash for pot. So, lechora, if this person goes ahead, what I think includes in Shulchan Aruch when he says dino keperot, is to tell you that's also gava. A person goes and says, you know what, I want to eat rice now, right? Or I want to eat macaroni. You hear? Yeah. And macaroni is soaked in all the liquid, and most of the time macaroni is dry. There's no, right? And most people don't eat macaroni like, you know, spaghetti with their rolling their fingers. They don't eat that. But let's say even if the guy goes to the kitchen and starts washing his hands, like for the bread, 3 times, not without a bracha, just to wash, which is prescribed if you're going to be using the 7 liquids, says Maran, he is ga'aftan, he's a bal ga'ava. What are you doing? Same thing, dino keperot means, that's not halacha. There's nobody that told you to do that. So he wants to be, I want to be more meticulous. Be meticulous in other places where the halacha is written to be meticulous, not where you want to be. So dino keperot, says Mishnah Berurah, Va'achronim hiskimu deminyei tavshil, most achronim, here, chav vav, okay? That the most achronim accepted on the fact that kivan she'en derech legabo bayad, ela lechol bekaf. Most of these things that are cooked with water, with liquid, and then the liquid evaporates, I guess it soaks into the produce, to the product that you're about to eat. Most people eat it with a spoon or a fork. And tzarich netilat yadayim. Over there, you're not required at all. There's no even discussion for you to wash your hands. ואפילו אם נוגע בו דרך המקרה בתוך הקו, גם כן אין צריך נטילה. Yeah, this is the question Zohar yesterday had. What about the ice cream, right? The ice cream drizzles on your hand. So he said, maybe you should wash your hands. He says, no, here it gives you a scenario where you're going to touch the food by mistake with your hands. I don't know whatever happened, somehow it happened. Still, you don't require netilah. וכן נוהגים, that's the custom. אבל מה שדרך לגבו בידיו, however, if the custom to eat this meal with your hands, אף על פי שאוכל בכלי למהנה. Since even though he's not eating it with his hands, he's eating it with a fork. For instance, fruit salad, right? People usually eat fruits with hands. Here he wants to eat the fruits with a fork. He's the yekik as a French guy. He wants to eat. So here, פירות המבושל במים, if there's fruits were cooked already, יש דעות בין האחרונים אם צריכים לנטילת ידיים. So if you regularly eat those fruits, like it's a compot. What is compot? Compot is cooked fruits. Fruits by themselves you eat regularly. Now compot is all wet, it has water in it, but you know what, sometimes I would take with a compot with my hand, dry like an apple. Compot, huh?
But compot, it's like,
it's not like puree. You're talking about puree. I'm talking about compot fruits that are cooked.
Okay, but you still
boiled.
have water like with them.
Yeah, but let's say I drank up all the water and I pick piece by piece.
Okay.
So he says there, even if you are eating it with a spoon, since that you usually eat with hands, you should wash your hands.
Okay.
That's the point. The point is, what's the normal way of eating perot? Perot is eaten by hands.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that it's cooked. You're right, the cherries are cooked. They're mushy, you don't want to touch with your hands. But many times it happens, you drink up a cup, and in the bottom, the fruits are there, you want to reach it. Sometimes you reach it with your hands, kacha, b'chazut, kacha. Why not? Okay, we have to understand, that's possibilities. So there, the Chachamim are arguing if you must eat netilah. If they're liquidy, like the compote, it's better to eat with a spoon. So something that's kabush. What's his name? Salted, right? You have items that are salted, like a pickle. Oh, here's the best example. People. Well, how people eat pickles? With their hands. I eat it with a fork many times. So he says, there, because it's common. People take olives with their hands and all this things, salted, the pickled olives. All those pickled things that you should wash your hands. Let's see just quickly Mishnah Matzliach. Mishnah Matzliach on this, he says like this. What?
The pickles, if you take the fork, you don't need to wash, but if you take...
No, anytime you eat pickles, even with the fork.
Really?
That's what he's saying. Yes. Lachmir.
We need to wash.
Wash it, because many times you'll eat it with your hands. Because those are things that people commonly eat with hands also. There's a salad.
Don't eat it with my
Doesn't matter what you're doing right now. Doesn't matter. That's the point. The Tov Lachmir, he says. Many Achronim say, no, if you're eating with a fork, what's the difference? So he says, no, Tov Lachmir, to wash. However, listen to this Mishnah Ish Matzliach 7.
It's not agreed, but it's not agreed by
everybody. No, it's not a chova. It's not a chova. Not a chova.
Okay.
If you're Baruch Hashem, if you're French Moroccan, you know those French Moroccans? They're very meticulous. They're high level because they're not gonna touch with their hands. Come on. There is a fork.
So don't need to wash.
Huh? So you don't need to wash. If you're French Moroccan, no problem.
So
okay. Huh?
Cooked fruit, you need to wash their hands.
Yes, because the fruits with the fork even. Since there's a big possibility you're gonna eat with the hand because that's what people do. But let's see Kapachaim. Let's see Ish Matzliach add something. Number 7 and 8. מדרבה כפחיים משמע דבקראי גם נמי אם אוכלו בקו והוא מבושל אין צריך נטילת ידיים. Yes, his כפחיים agrees with the French Moroccans. ידעי. ואין שם...
What about הרב עובדיה?
Let's see, 1 second, let's see.
Give you a few.
ואין שם דהו הדין אם מטבל חלק ממנו במשקה, במושל ונזהר שלא לגע במשקה, אין צריך נטילת ידיים. כפחיים says even if you're dipping in liquid, the fruit, he holds it, you don't have to wash it. That's how far he went. It's like you're eating with a fork. עיין שם. ועיין בהערה שבסוף הספר, שנכון להחמיר. Look, it says over there, כיסא ראש ישיבה ואיש מצליח, כיסא רחמים says no, it's good to be מחמיר. גם באוכל על ידי כף, even if you're eating with a fork. ואם יטבל רק חלק ואין אוכל בכף, what about if you're dipping, right? חלק ואין אוכל בכף, but you're not eating with a fork, אין להכיר כלל. No, he says over there, Kapachim says you're dipping with a fork into the there. That's when you're not, but there's no problem to watch, not to watch. Yeah. But here, when you're, what's his name? ואם מטבל רק חלק ואינו אוכל בכף, אין להכיר כלל. But let's say you took a pepper, your wife cut peppers, cut peppers like a string.
Okay.
And you dip that into a dip.
Because you're touching it with your hands.
So he says there you have to wash your hands.
Yeah.
If you're going to be dipping it, you must wash your hands. It's like a gravy or something. You're dipping something in the gravy. Yeah.
No, with the fork, no.
No, with your hands. With the fork you don't have to. With the hands you must.
You must do.
Yeah, even if you're not touching the liquid.
But with the fork, no.
ואינו נקרא מבושל רק כשהוא אוכל שמתבשל במים. אבל בתה, בקפה וכיוצא דינו כמשקה גמור. אין שם באורך שם. זה, but again, אבל בתה וקפה וכיוצא דינו כמשקה גמור. So again, but something that's cooked, רק כשהוא אוכל שנתבשל במים, right? So you had something that was cooked with water and now it's not liquid anymore. Okay. It's evaporated. The liquid evaporated. Since you're eating it there, you're not obligated to wash your hands if you're eating it with the אין להכיר בכלל ואין נקרא מבושל רק כשהוא אוכל. Right. So if it's cooked and it's dry, then it's not required. But if you're dipping anything, Gamur, if you're dipping a cookie into the tea or that's mamash, you must wash your hands before. Wow. משמע גם באוכל על ידי כף או מזלג, וגם אם נאמר כברוש כמבושל, בכל מקום המשקה גופו או מבושל. So he says like this. The question was, he's differentiating. If something was cooked, and you're eating with a fork, right? You're not going to require you to wash. But what about the pickled things, right? Listen to the difference, Rabbi Avram. Pickled things, halacha is like they're like cooked. So if you have something that's pickled, it's like cooked, right? So, but we said, but if I'm eating something that's cooked with a fork, I don't have to wash.
Yeah.
But why by pickles, Ishmael says we have to wash? By pickled items, we have to wash. Why? Because what's happening is that the pickle is mushal itself. It has a din like mushal, but since it's surrounded by liquid, heavy liquid, and you're going to be now, that's the problem. That even though pickle is mushal, but you have liquid here. So since the liquid is alive, you're gonna have to wash your hands if you're gonna eat pickled items. Gentlemen, but for YouTube, I'm gonna make a bracha for the thirst over here, but do not answer amen in YouTube. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. אוקיי. אם לא שנגנבו שנתנגבו ממים שעליהם, unless the water completely evaporated. כתב בדרך לחיים, האוכל לקח. מה זה לקח? עוגת דבש. So לקח is a honey cake. Okay, so you have honey cake. למתק השתייה בטובל הלקח בעין שרב, להם בדבר שביטולו במשקה. מה זה בעין שרב? I don't know what that means. If you're eating this cupcake, this honey cake, and you're going to be dipping it into Be'en Saraf. Oh, wine that's spicy wine. Okay, Yein Saraf, that's burning. Saraf means, what's his name? Not, what? Dry wine. Okay? La habi davar shetibulo b'mashke. So the dry wine, he wants to say, this is not a mashke. Right? Mishum deze'ahu mehatbu'a v'have me pirot. I don't know. It's okay. So it's maze saraf, be'yein saraf. Maze saraf. What kind of wine is a saraf? Some kind of special wine that it says it's not real. It's coming off like a mishum deze'ah. It's a sweat from the.
אולי הוא חריף. אולי הוא חריף.
A saraf means harif. That's what harif would means dry wine.
It's not necessary,
but he's saying it's a sweat. That's some kind of ze'ah. הוא מהתבואה והמי פירות. And it's, unless, one second, maybe it's talking about vodka.
זה כאילו משקה שחר כנראה, זה כמו, שזה כאילו full alcohol, זה כאילו יותר מיין רגיל.
Right, yeah. Maybe that's what he means. What he means is that it's how do you, I mean, how do they make it comes out sweat, right? They boil and the steam comes into the liquid. Yeah, this is the story. This is what he's probably talking about. He's talking about vodka.
Vodka?
Yeah. How do you make vodka?
זה משקה חריף שנעשה על ידי זיקוק.
Right. That's steam. They boil the liquid comes out, and then there's a little pipe that it goes through a little pipe. It goes, travels, and it drips little by piece by piece. That's called sarav. So now you might think it's water. He says, no, that's a sweat. And therefore, let's say you're going to dip anything into vodka, and people, I guess in Russia, in olden Russia, they would eat honey cake inside dip vodka. Kacha, to drink vodka, you dip the stuff into the vodka. So it says
that it's creating, it's משקה אלכוהולי מזוקק המיוצר מיין לבן צעיר.
כן, you want it. It's like vodka, yeah.
No, it's coming from the white wine.
No, he's saying it's ze'ahu me'atbu'a. No, he's saying me'atbu'a. מה זה התבואה? From the grain.
From what?
From grain. Vodka from grain. נו, חביבי. והווה מי פירות. It's going to have a din of mei pirot.
Okay.
Even though it's a tbu'a, It's a grain. Grain doesn't have any juice. Nobody makes juice from wheat, but it's called zeah is the sweat. That's the steam that's coming out. I guess after broiling with whatever. ואף אם היין צרב מזוק הוא במים, מכל מקום מועד הוא ואין צריך נטילה. Even if they put water in there. Sometimes, today all the wine is mixed with water.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can't drink it, right? So he says that's not going to be a problem. עד כאן לשונות. This is the לשון. משמע מזה, דאם המים הם רוב, so what you see from here, if the liquid is more water, more than the מי פירות, הווה בכלל משקה. Then it's going to have a din of משקה. But as long as the juice is more than the water, then it's not a mashke. Then if you didn't dip in it, it's not going to be a problem. Says Ish Matzliach. What? Liquid, yeah. And the mashke is all the 7 liquids that we discussed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's mashke. Ulam. So listen to this. Ish Matzliach. Ulam kapachayim hevi baze machaloket. Kapachayim says even here there's a machaloket. Masig. Degam bechol shehu mayim. He says, I don't care what you're talking about. What does that mean? Little, more. Little bit water, you already have that issue. Says Kapachayim, the Chachamim were makmir to make even a little bit water. He says, he doesn't agree with this shita. Okay, אבל בשאר משכין, אז לין בת ערובה, עיין שם, עיין בקובץ, יען שמואל. Once again, the other משקה צריך נטילה. בכל שהוא מים המעורב במשקה צריך נטילה, אבל בשאר משקין, אז לינן בטר רובה. He says, those 7 liquids that we have an issue with, if water is mixed, a little drop of water, here you have a whole cup of wine, and you put the three cups nitila, before kiddush you make, the 3 cups, drip, 3 little drips, right? That will make it already like mashke. This is going to be like a liquid, according to Chafachayim. If you touch it with your hands, or if you spill it on fruits, you have to, and you want to eat the fruit, you have to wash your hands. Okay, that's Chafachayim. However, he says, let's say you put honey into the, bee honey, into the wine to make it sweeter. There, says Chafachayim, there will go by the rov. You hear what's going on? With water, 1 drip will make the whole thing pasul, not pasul, it's mutar. Just make it more like a mashke. But when it comes to milk, honey, anything else, rov. What's rov? What's more? Because Mishnah Berurah is saying, that rov is only. He says b'mayim also you need rov. That's the machloket. Machloket between Mishnah Berurah and Kapachayim. Kapachayim says by mayim you don't need the rov. By mayim you need a little drip, more than enough to make it mashkeh. By all the other liquids, you need rov. That's the machloket. Okay. Okay. So if you're taking this honey cake, less than 26 grams, and you dip it into this mashkeh harif, into this vodka, that's what's his name, that's mixed with water, says you don't need to make batinat eladayim if it's less than kazayit. Like we already said before, not a problem. Okay? Number 2 is Matzliach. So go look over there also, we discussed about that also. Okay. Now, let's see. Chav Zayin. That's going to be new halacha. Seif Zayin. B'chavot Rabbi Abraham. If you could come closer or louder for the YouTube crowd to hear you also.
Zayin?
Yes, please.
נטל ידיו לדבר שתיגולו במשקה ואחר כך רוצה לאכול לחם, יש מי שנראה מדבריו שאין אותה נטילה עולה לו ואין צריך לומר אם נטל ידיו שלא לאכול ואחר כך נמלח ואכל.
Once again. נטל ידיו לדבר שטיבולו במשקה. So נטל ידיו, you washed your hands in order to consume something that you're going to be dipping into the liquid. And then, רוצה לאכול לחם, then you want to eat bread. What's happening here? Remember, how are you supposed to wash? The whole 9 yards, everything. 1, 2, 3, the hands, right? The whole thing. Now you wipe your hands like the Tilat Yadayim, but you don't make a bracha. You wipe your hands. Now you're gonna go eat something that you dip into the water. Then you say, you know what, Habibi, I want to eat bread. Some say that this washing that he just did for the fruit not gonna help him for the bread. He has to do it again. ואין צריך לומר אם נטל ידיו שלא לאכול, ואחר כך נולך ואכל. So what happened was, and we don't have to say anything for the, let's say the guy washed his hands. And he didn't do anything. He came to the table and he started eating bread. So, chaval, there's no problem. Hamotzi. I remember the bracha, he didn't say on the yadayim, זה לא מעכב. The Maaseh he did. Did he wash his hands? He washed his hands. This that he didn't say until okay, לא מחויב. I mean, you chuyav, but he didn't. It's not me'akev, meaning it's not gonna tell you no, you can't say hamotzi. You washed your hands already. Okay, that's not a problem. The question is now, if once he's already eating שטיבו במשקה ואחר כך רוצה לאכול לחם, יש מי שנראה בדבריו שאין אותה נטילה עולה עליו. We'll see what the Mishnah Berurah is going to explain. Here's Zohar. Okay. Now, so just put yourself on the mute. בעזרת השם. הגה, continue הגה. בעזרת רב אברהם.
ואם לא יצטרך דעתו, ייטול בלא ברכה, ואם נגע באכילתו במקומות מטונפים בגופו, יחזור וייטול ידיו. ואין לקמן, סימן קס"ד.
ואם לא הסיח דתו, ייטול בלא ברכה. You hear what's going on here? So Ramai is saying, if he stopped, he didn't, what's his name? If he paid attention while he was eating the fruit, he didn't do anything else. So he says, go wash again. Ito blo bracha. Why he has to do blo bracha? Again, Natali yadav ledavar shebitulo b'mashke. So we'll see what Mishnah Berurah is going to explain that. What did he mean? Did he say bracha on Natilat Yadayim for the fruits? Maybe that's what happened here. But we'll see. We'll see. אם נגע באכילתו במקומות המטונפות בגופו, אם נגע באכילתו while he was eating the fruits, then he touched something that's covered in his body, יחזור וייטול ידיו, then he should wash his hands. Okay, this Ramah is a little bit confusing us because in reality, that's exactly what we're talking about here. Do you have to make a bracha or not? Do you have to wash it until again? So we'll see. Ramah, Mishnah Berurah is going to explain to us. Let's dissect this Siman Siv Zayin. Says sorry, Siv. Oi. Yeah. Did we read Zayin?
Vav, we didn't read it.
We didn't read Vav. It's my mistake. Please, Rabbi Abraham, let's do Zayin.
אין צריך ליטול אפילו ידו אחת.
Somebody is drinking. Here, I'm drinking. Did I wash? Yes, of course I washed it home before I came here. Right? But now, let's see. You're drinking this cup. Do I have to make a bracha or not? Halakha is you don't have to wash your hands at all. Nothing. Because what's the chance that you're going to be licked and put your fingers in there? So let's see. There's Mishnah Berurah on that. That's like 3 lines. השותה דלאביד נגד דנגע בידו ממשכין שבתוך הכלי. לכן לא תקנו נטילה לזה. Because people don't put their fingers inside what they're drinking usually. Normal people. ולכן אף אם אירע שנתן המשכין בידו כגון ששאב ידיו מן הנהר ושתה, גם כן אין צריך נטילה. And even he says, you're taking a whole, you put your hands inside where? Inside a barrel. And you must touch everything there. Or you put it inside the river, a flowing river, right? You put water, you want to drink from there. So your hands are touching everything. Still, it's not common. Therefore, the rabbis didn't establish that you should wash your hands. This is what it says. There is no takana for that. It was not established for you to wash hands when you're drinking water. Says Ish Matzliach, v'chen dad rova achronim. This is the way that most achronim paskin. V'hen achen ha'minchag bashut. This is the normal thing, that nobody washes their hands before drinking. ומכל מקום, היכא דאפשר יש להחמיר ליטול ידיו. Says Kaf HaChaim. Since, why is the Kaf HaChaim is more strict a little bit? Remember, what are you going to do here? You're making a bracha. You want to say Hashem's name without any questions whatsoever. Maybe you're tameh, maybe you're not tameh, right? So here he's obligating you to wash. And even when you make a shakol, go wash your hands. Maybe not like for pot, maybe at least regular, like after the bathroom. So this way, for the bracha, your hands are pure. Let's go to Mishnah Berurah for Zayin, for 7. Sif Katan Kafchet, we already just did Zayin in the Shulchan Aruch, and he told us somebody wants to wash for fruits, and then he wants to eat bread. Let's see, what does that mean? Somebody wants to say that this Netilah doesn't work. I mean, why wouldn't it work? What's the excuse? Why wouldn't it work?
שאתה לא מחויב לעשות.
you're מחויב.
For what?
דבר שטיפולו במים, מה קרה?
אתה לא מחויב לעשות...
Yes, you do. We said, if you're going to take a fruit that's wet
אבל כאילו, אתה מחויב לעשות נטילה על המוצי, אבל אתה לא מחויב לעשות על זה.
Where were you for the past 2 weeks? We're talking about specifically.
אוקיי, תקרא.
No, חביבי, this is specifically.
תקרא מה הוא אומר. תקרא.
אוקיי, עוד second. Are you able... נטל ידיו לדבר שטיבולו במשקה.
כן, ואין חיוב לנטילה לטיבולו במשקה בזמן הזה. ולכן אינו יוצא...
לא, because of the... you're saying...
כן.
But he did. I don't understand. Okay, you're right. אין חיוב, but he did. And חכמים, and he's holding like those חכמים that מחייב you. Until now, what are we talking about? You're מחייב, we said till now.
בעתיד שולחן ערוך, אין רוב הפוסקים סייד.
So שולחן ערוך says to wash, what do you mean?
אבל הנה, כתוב.
But, okay, good. So שולחן ערוך פסקן.
נו.
Let's see. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I hear what you're saying. יש מישהו, דהיינו לדעת מקצת הפוסקים שזכרתי לאל בעוד אחד, דסבירה להו, דאין חיוב נטילה לטיבול משקה בזמן הזה. Some poskim, מיעוט. You know what it means מיעוט? קצת. Very little. Some poskim say you don't have to watch today. ולכן אינו יוצא בנטילה זו לאכילת פת. So he's saying like this. Since those מיעוט coming to be מחמיר, those מיעוט they coming to be posel your נטילה because you don't need it. Once you don't need נטילה and you washed, and if you didn't do it for bread, it doesn't work. That's what they want to say. Hear what's going on? דרן נטל לשם נטילה מחויבת. Since נטילת ידיים for bread is מחויב. Was it finished already? Time? Almost finished. Okay. So that's the reason. Bezat Hashem tomorrow, or hopefully on Sunday, we will continue with that Dishmaya, probably 5:25. Have a wonderful Shabbat, Chevre.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
I need to give you for the bread.